All right, so this is where we see if we made it for our 100 gems for Chaos PvP. And obviously, we're just gonna get a little review on like the problems of Chaos PvP. What was the most used characters in that game mode, and why is it so bad? So we got that going on, and let's see. And I did not make it with 4,500 points. I did not make it into the 1% threshold. Golly, that is insane, man. Oh my god. Yeah, JP, everybody was sweating for those 100 gems, man. I'm so upset. I was actually really grinding for those 100 gems. I even pushed even further, but it seemed like it was not enough. Obviously, if you played enough of Chaos PvP, you would know that game mode is actually super broken in terms of you could use one game-breaking character on your team and you pretty much lost the entire matchup. Like, because like with JP, I don't know what it is, but for global has such a easier time of getting that 1%, because this was somebody sent me yesterday on Discord, where on global for 4,000 points there was 0.22%. And here's my screenshot of yesterday with 450. It was at 92%, which means I was literally on the cusp of getting kicked out of 1%. I even pushed farther, as you saw with the screen with the 5%, to add a little bit of like 250 points more. And I think it had said 0.5% during that time when I finally clicked off, because I was getting tired of Chaos PvP, and I still could not make it. Yeah, so like Chaos PvP on JP was just a different animal, man. Which I don't blame it, because for JP players, they usually only grind stuff when it's important, okay? Like if it's top 100, if it's not a real true season of top 100, it's probably the easiest thing in the world. Until you get the season ones where you get those PvP rules, and oh my god, it's some whales you probably ain't never heard of before. But again, let's talk about the teams that was pretty much, or characters that was super annoying in Chaos PvP. Again, I'm still a little bit upset I didn't even make it after all that grinding. I'm done with Chaos PvP at this point, man. I'm so done with Chaos PvP. But the first one we got is Sun Jin-woo. Again, he was really a menace in Chaos PvP, because again, the human roster is so vast that for most players, you probably don't even use or even own some of those human characters, especially for collabs. But they actually have some really good CC characters for those units, and unfortunately that led to Sun Jin-woo being a menace in PvP, because again, most players that I seen was like a 290k human team featuring Sun Jin-woo, and obviously with Sun Jin-woo, if he starts getting build up his levels, you're pretty much done for, because again, he has an infect you can't block, and then once he gets up to like I think up to per 10 levels, he gets a damage cap while also increasing his own base stats. So if you do not get rid of Sun Jin-woo, you're pretty much done for. In the early stages of Chaos PvP, you could use him with Pelagard. So I definitely saw him with Pelagard a lot until it was like 4 days in, where obviously Pelagard got out points wise on the team for him, so they had to stop using them, and they just started using with random characters at that point. I also saw him with Yuri. Was it Yuri? Yeah, it was like it's like that blue. It's that girl who obviously removes stances and stuff like that. I definitely seen her a lot on Sun Jin-woo during those early stages. But again, yeah, this guy was truly a menace in PvP, which makes you question, why do they not just ban characters? Like, these are characters that was used all 7 days. Sun Jin-woo was on a team all 7 days. How is this not banned? Another character is obviously the more annoying character, and probably the most cheesiest one that I've seen, which was Skull. Yeah, Skull was just super cheesy. Obviously, you probably had played against his character. It's either they stance or they do nothing for the entire match. That is pretty much it. They stance and then push for the ultimate. And again, facing the Skull player, again, you gotta understand, because of how her stance actually works, it will attack you before you even use your skill. So if you try to use anything, obviously you just got blasted before you can even touch her. So again, most players, from what I've seen, They always got her stance every single turn, and with her getting a free stance on the first turn, those other two turns makes it a lot easier for you to discard cards from other trash units that you probably have up here alongside with, and then she can just go for her stance infinitely at that point. And again, it's pretty much unstoppable. Obviously, there were some counters I did see for her, but at that point, because her CC is so high, you probably couldn't get a chance to do so anyways. And then you also had Sun Jiwoo around as well, so you had to kind of had to figure out what team you wanted to counter. Is either you was going to counter Sun Jiwoo and get clapped by Scold, or you try to counter Scold and then get clapped by Sun Jiwoo. It was either or. But again, this character was extremely annoying for all 7 days, especially because they was pairing her alongside of Diane, Ragnarok Diane, or even the Ragnarok summer version of Diane to give you that damage cap and extra damage. And that was just extremely annoying to deal with. She was probably the most hated one. Actually, no, it's her and Sun Jiwoo was probably the most hated one for me. And again, the third one, which honestly I started seeing this after after the first 2 days, because again, after more points was added on to other human characters, people had to swap to the other broken characters, which was Demon King Zeldris. Now, Demon King Zeldris, again, you just running with a full demon team, and then you just pretty much clap after that, because again, most characters in PvP does not deal high amounts of damage against Demon King. So you can definitely make like a very damage reduction based team, which I think he was probably the most free to play casual player, especially if you had dupes on this guy, because I was even seeing people rock like Taizu as a backline for extra damage reduction. So he was probably the most easiest one to run. Obviously, he's definitely very hard to run, because again, if you don't have dupes to punish those reflect damage against Sun Jiwoo, he kind of falls off a bit. That's why I didn't really use him as much, because mine's only 2 out of 6. So if Sun Jiwoo tried to break a shield, he wasn't really getting punished. Like it felt like a tickle every time Sun Jiwoo broke my shield. But if you face a 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 6 Demon King, if Sun Jiwoo breaks one shield, he's taking half his HP with it. Okay, almost half his HP with it. And if he breaks all 3, then he's pretty much dead at that point. So that's what the difference is between a high dupe Demon King and a low dupe Demon King, is that you can have a lot of moments punishing players who try to break your shield, which can come in clutch. Again, with me, I didn't really summon on Demon King banner, because I felt like his team is going to be pretty much falling off pretty soon, especially because again, we are getting a festival and a collapse coming soon. So his team is most likely going to be the one to drop off, because again, there's not going to be any more demons this year, unless probably maybe New Year's, if they give you a new Meliodas. But again, if they give us a new Meliodas, I don't know what we're gonna do with Demon King, because again, if the new Meliodas has a talent, then you're probably not gonna be using Demon King talent, which means his AoE, not his AoE, his single target is gonna be pretty much useless. The only thing you're gonna have is pretty much his AoE at that point, which just procs his shield. But yeah, that was just the 3 annoying teams. Again, like I said before, I didn't make it, even with me pushing so hard. I'm probably never going to push for top 100 again after that. Not top 100, 1% again. I'm just going to sit in the 30 to 50 gems range, honestly. Because, again, it's not worth my sanity. Again, facing those 3 teams, it's just not worth it. And, again, the next time they probably do KS PvP, it probably is going to get even worse. Because, again, they don't change anything about PvP at all. They just give you these game modes that are untested, that are garbage, that has so many restrictions in it that it's not even worth playing at that point. Again, you just want to get your couple of gems and then just leave, man, because again, it's just not worth it at this point. But again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. That was my review on Chaos PvP. Again, I'm probably not gonna do another video today because I need a mental break after all that grinding. And yeah, this from really guys, I'm out. Peace.